let's talk about Facebook right quick. Right, so last week, we saw big tech. We saw Alphabet. We saw Microsoft report, and we saw those stocks sink. We saw them miss and have mixed earnings. We saw them sink. JP Morgan said Amazon is the best tech stock to be in right now. I'm not mad at that. I think they're banking heavy on AWS and the fact that Amazon is the largest e-commerce builder. We saw what Apple did. Apple cutting supply. They making adjustments. But Facebook is a peculiar company. It's actually now at the levels at which I purchased it at. But here's what happens. We saw the stock plummet 14% after weak Q3 earnings, Q4 forecast. They missed earnings, they missed revenue. Now, here's what I think about Facebook. When it comes to having a balance sheet, there isn't a company that has a stronger balance sheet than them. They're in there with the big dogs. When it comes to having a product and service. Yep, Tim Cook has altered the way that this company makes money. Tim Cook is definitely playing chess. And when you think about Apple and Facebook, I've always talked about this. That chess game is a beautiful chess game that I love watching. Mark has had to adjust. But I think in some of his moments, he's a little big-headed. He's the founder of an amazing business. His business changed the dynamics of how we do everything. But he's also the sole controller. So he owns majority stake in the business. He sits on the board. He makes the final decisions. I think in this moment, I could be wrong. I've never ran a $1 billion company before, but I can see when a man's pride is in the way. Yep, Tim Cook hit him with something. When Tim Cook came up with the iOS, that you could press that button that says, I don't want this app to track me, and 100% was a left hook that he ain't see coming. So let's talk about it. Earnings per share, they missed. They missed. Revenue still came in, but it was adjusted. But here's the number I want you to look at. Daily active users. It's in line. 1.9, almost 2 billion. Monthly active users actually was up a little bit. But here's the thing. They're losing eyeballs, watch time to TikTok, which is okay because Instagram is still going, they still have more users than anybody. Now here's the thing though. He's betting $10 billion a year on the metaverse. Now, I'm not saying that that's not, remember, I always say, if you're bold enough to bet on the future, you're bold enough to make a lot of money. So I'm not mad at that, but I don't think he should spend $10 billion a year on building that out. The guy is brilliant. But you have to find a way, to add value now, Mark. You have to find a way to add value now. Because even though people are long-term investors and we believe that what you did, we've seen Reed Hastings with Netflix. We've seen him make adjustments in the moment. He ain't say, hey, we're going to do something in 10 years for Netflix. Mark, you have an amazing balance sheet with no debt on it. You have a huge stockpile of cash. The company is actually still making money. Not as much as we wanted to make, but you're still making money. But Mark, you have to do something now. You have to do, and here's the crazy part. The things that you need to do can be fixed. Stop trying to copy what everybody else doing. Make your platforms more engagement. You got WhatsApp, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got Messenger. Make these things more attractive, Mark. If not, bruh, It's prolonged debt. Now, the dope part about it is because you don't have no debt, you could be around for a long time. Spending $10 billion on the metaverse, Mark, and telling us it ain't gonna be ready till 2030? Charging us $1,500 now for these things, Mark. People don't want to walk around with them heavy-ass things on their head all day, Mark. You have to do something right now to make this business attractive again. So let's talk about the pros and cons. Does the company have a great balance sheet? Yes, it does. Stock is down 60% on the year, 70% on the year. Do you have a great balance sheet? Yes, you do. Zero debt. Yes, strong moat. Even though you have a strong moat, even though at the moment it's deteriorating. You have the biggest platform in the world when it comes to users. But it's deteriorating because you're losing it to Snap, because people are now converting to Snap, to TikTok. You cannot keep mocking, or replicating what other people are doing. At some point, you gotta be innovative again, Mark. And I feel you. You saying the metaverse is my thing. AR, VR, cool. But Mark, listen to me. Apple doing the same thing now. Microsoft coming with you, partnering with Microsoft for Teams. People are doing this. You have to be the innovative genius that you are, bro. Because if not, and I own the stock. This the thing, I own you. I own shares of Facebook. I own shares of Facebook. The crazy part is, bro, I've owned you since about 125. I'm back there. You gotta do something. Like, you gotta be willing to take your boldness and put it on the side and say, yo, let me bring somebody in. Because Tim is whooping your butt right now, bro. And you haven't adjusted. You haven't adjusted. And you're going to ruin something that's great. Let's go, man. I ain't going to flush him down the toilet yet, but let's go, man. Now, I got something dope that I want to say right here. Costco is one of my favorite companies to own. The company is designed for these type of economic environments. It is designed for these type of economic environments. The way the company is built on the inside, the infrastructure, not a lot of shelves, everything is in bulk. Listen, the membership is increasing. I think Costco's is a great company to own right now. But listen, check it out. BJ's is the first cousin. They do exactly the same thing. BJ's is at a cheaper price. They're smaller. They're not world-renowned like Costco's. BJ's specifically sit on the East Coast. But I do feel that's not a bad deal. Now, remember, we always don't say price, we say value. So when you're comparing the two, you're going to get a bigger market cap, you're going to get bigger reach. What I love about Costco is every time we go through some type of economic crisis or something, Costco is going to hit us with that dividend, that special dividend. During the pandemic, they hit us with $10 a share. Here y'all go. Strong balance sheet, strong management. Costco's is a big dog. BJ's is like the little Frenchie. BJ's is like the little Frenchie, but they strong. I think they plan to open up 11 more stores on the East Coast. Strong balance sheet, strong income statement, great management. They really follow almost the same business model. Smaller brand. I like BJ's if you don't want to get Costco's. Don't own both. Own one of the two. Let's go, man. I'm feeling, listen, we're going to do something a little different today.